You can't make your child love learning. You can't make them be motivated for a subject that they just plain old don't like. If you are still trying to motivate your child to learn, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to show you a more effective way. Here's how you actually teach your child internal motivation. I'm sure you have experience with what I'm talking about here. You know that one subject that your child just really does not want to do, and they will find any excuse to do something different when it comes to that subject. Let's take, for example, if your child is not into creative writing and they really want to be putting their time into video games instead. Now, is playing video games wrong or bad? There are a lot of benefits to playing video games. I mean, there's perseverance, there's determination, there's learning how to fail and get going again. And the thing is that video games really meet your child where they're at. They're allowed to keep trying a level until they're ready to move on, and then they get to move on right away. They don't get held back by the content that they're doing. When it starts to go wrong, though, is when your child starts to escape into video games. And this could happen with anything. This could also happen with TV shows. It could even happen with reading books. When they are trying to escape something that they see as a problem in their own life and then turn their attention elsewhere so they can kind of shut off the real world thinking, then this is when it becomes harmful to the way that they process information. We want our children to be able to recognize and experience the emotions that come up with the circumstances that surround them. So when it comes to a subject that they just don't like, they could easily shut it down, or they could learn how to process that information and become internally motivated to tackle something that they may not even be too keen on. What matters so much in this moment is your response to the situation. Because what do we tend to do? We tend to remind them, encourage them, nudge them along, push them along, nag them, and boss them around to say, come on, get going. You are their mom. And in the case of homeschooling, you are their guide, but you're not their boss. In fact, this is actually going against all of the other work that you're doing to try to get them to take responsibility for their own learning. Once you start to nag and boss them around about what they need to be doing and when, you are then overcompensating for their own lack of motivation. They start to say, oh, I don't need to be motivated. Mom's going to motivate me externally. In order to allow your child to really take responsibility for themselves, the first step for you is to take a step back and give them the space to do it. Now, this looks like a process of gradual release, a little more and then a little more and then a little more. But how do we make sure that they keep pace with the pace that we need them to be released on? I'm going to tell you it is not with expectations. I'm going to show you a more effective way. Here are 3 ways that you can teach your child internal motivation. The first one is through relevance. Take my husband, for example. In high school, he was not into math. He didn't really enjoy it. He would do anything he could to get out of it. But after high school, he went into carpentry. And in carpentry, there's a lot of math involved. Obviously, there's a lot of measurement, fractions. He had to learn these mathematic skills very quickly, but he didn't mind that. He actually really enjoyed it because it was applicable to what he was doing. He saw the relevance in what he was learning and it made sense. So he was happy to do it. So how can you tap into that for your child? A very simple, basic thing that you can do today is to intertwine different subject areas. So take 2 different areas and show how they fit together. This will show your child how each one is more valuable because of the relevance. It doesn't even need to be necessarily applicable and relevant to what they're into in life. It just needs to show how that idea is relevant in the world and the way that they would view the world. So for example, if your child is not really into rocks and minerals and earth sciences, but they need to learn that, but they are into design and jewelry making, maybe you can try putting more of an emphasis on malleability and the way that these different elements can bend and be shaped so that they can be used in jewelry making. Then get some of those resources at the store and start to see how each one is bent and shaped and which kind your child likes to work with the most. Then maybe you could even weave in some entrepreneurial learning and look at the business side of things and what it would look like to sell that jewelry. Now, earth science is a little bit more relevant to their life, and they'll be more likely to get on board with what they're learning. The second way to teach your child internal motivation without your involvement here is through good old-fashioned peer pressure. Especially when it comes to those high schooling years, see if your child can find a friend to work with on their less enjoyable subject areas. When your child is not as interested in getting their work done, if they know that their friend is going to be looking at it, they're going to want to impress their friend more than they would care about impressing you with getting things done on time or to the best of their ability. Another tip for teenagers is to find a friend to swap their work with. Then they can review each other's writing or projects and give feedback to the other. This way, your child starts to learn what it means to look at something from an objective point of view. And when they go to do their own work next time, they will start to apply those objective principles into their original drafts, and they will be more motivated to have a well thought out first draft. The third way to teach your child internal motivation is with failure. Allowing your child to try something and completely mess it up is a humongous learning experience. And it really matters how you respond in that moment. If you make a big deal out of it and you are upset with them, then they will be more afraid to fail in the future, and they will not be motivated to try something new or to do something that requires them to really stretch and put themselves out there. However, if you are a safety net for them, if you are encouraging and supportive when they fail, then they will be more likely to take chances in the future. Let's face it, our children are going to do dumb things. They're going to mess up often. I mean, we did when we were young too. It's not about the failing part. It's about getting back up and learning how to be motivated to try something even when failure is an option. Let them make those dumb decisions now while they're still in your homeschool so that they can learn how to make better choices by the time they get to their adult years. Internal motivation really is about personal growth. So give your child plenty of living books so that they can see how these characters experience failure in these books, how they come out of it, and how they grow as a person through the consequences of their actions. This way, your child will see these moments modeled for them, and they will start to learn how to deal with that themselves. Not only through books, though, they're going to watch how you model this for them. So make sure that you are also working on your personal growth. Are you working on your personal growth as a homeschooling mom? If you are looking for more support for how you can approach homeschooling in a way that actually connects with your child, that's what I do. So I actually support homeschooling moms to find the freedom to reflect who you are as a family through the way that you teach, so that you can deepen that connection with your child. If you are interested in learning more about that, then I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Check out some of the other videos that I have for you here. And if you found this video helpful, I would love for you to show me by hitting that like button. If you are looking for how to motivate your child, then it's very likely you have a middle school or high schooler. So I want to recommend something to you. Check out this video for how you can homeschool your high schooler. That's what I have for you today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.